My beloved child, you have walked through many seasons. You have felt the weight of decades pressing down on your shoulders, memories that make you smile, wounds that still sting, names you no longer get to call, and plans that never quite unfolded the way you imagined. You have carried responsibilities that demanded more from you than you ever thought you could give. You've endured heartbreaks that seemed unbearable at the time, yet you stood back up because you believed others needed you to be strong. And you were. You have been strong for so long. But now I am asking you to hear me clearly. There are burdens you were never meant to carry, and it is time to lay them down. I did not create you to be the one who holds every broken piece together. That role belongs to me, and I am not disappointed in you for trying. No, I see your intentions. I know that somewhere along your journey, pain entered your heart without warning. Someone let you down, or life betrayed your expectations. A tragedy caught you off guard. A storm came before you had a chance to prepare. And so you responded the way many do. You tightened your grip. You believed, perhaps unconsciously, that if you could control enough, you could avoid being hurt again. If you could anticipate every possible outcome, maybe you could soften the blow. Maybe you could protect those you love from suffering. Maybe you could earn a life free from more surprises. But child, control is not the shield you believe it is. Control is an illusion. And illusions are fragile, just like glass, clear enough to seem trustworthy, but one harsh knock and they shatter. And when they do, you find yourself sitting among the pieces, wondering what went wrong, wondering why you feel anxious all the time, wondering why peace feels so far out of reach. That anxiety, that heaviness in your chest, it is not because you are weak. It is not a failure of your faith. It is simply the weight of what you were never designed to carry pressing down on your spirit. You see, I never asked you to fix everything. I never assigned you the task of knowing all outcomes before they happen. I never told you that it was your job to protect everyone from every danger, every loss, every tear. That was never the assignment. I created you to walk with me, to trust me, to surrender to me, not to try and become me. That role is already filled, perfectly and eternally, and I have never failed at it. You've done well, my child. So well. You've stood in the gap for your family. You've stretched yourself thin to meet the needs of others. You've made sacrifices I alone fully understand. But in your desire to protect and control, you've picked up burdens that were not made for your hands. Your body knows it. That constant ache, the tightness in your chest, the racing thoughts that refuse to quiet even in the still of night. Those are signals, gentle and persistent, that you are carrying too much. And now I am asking you to let go. Letting go does not mean giving up. It does not mean you no longer care. It does not mean the people you love will fall apart without your hand constantly holding theirs. It simply means acknowledging that I, the one who knit you together in your mother's womb, am also holding the people you care about. I am the God of generations. The same hands that held your grandparents hold your grandchildren. The same wisdom that guided you when you were young is guiding those you now pray over. Do not mistake surrender for abandonment. When you release your grip, you are not leaving them. You are entrusting them to me, where they have always belonged. And I know what your mind whispers in the quiet moments. But what if something happens? What if I stop worrying and then disaster strikes? What if I let go and they get hurt? Those thoughts come from fear, not faith. And you know me well enough by now to recognize that fear is not my language. I speak in peace, in assurance, in truth. I am not shaken by the possibilities that terrify you. I see the beginning and the end. You only see the middle, and it's filled with shadows. But I am the light. Do you remember when you were younger and full of strength and yet still unsure of what tomorrow held? And yet, here you are, still breathing, still living, still carried through storms you once thought would drown you. That was me. I never left you, and I won't leave now. If I could be trusted then, why not now? You may feel like you have to stay strong for everyone around you, even now. But what if I told you that your truest strength, your deepest peace, comes not from your grasp, but from your release? I do not admire clenched fists. I draw near to open hands. I do not measure your worth by how much you can bear. I rejoice when you hand it all over to me. There is no prize in exhaustion. There is no holiness in worry. There is no badge of honor for trying to carry what only my shoulders can bear. The honor is in obedience. The freedom is in surrender. So now I invite you, no, I urge you to place it down. That weight of expectation, that bundle of fears, those endless what-ifs that have held your heart captive, lay them at my feet. You do not need to understand every outcome. You do not need to be the fixer, the planner, the protector of all. That is my job. Your job is to trust me. Your job is to rest in my promises. Your job is to breathe deeply and say, Lord, I release this into your hands, and I will take it. I always do. I never fumble what you place in my care. I never lose track of what matters to you. So trust me now, more than ever. The burden you carry was never yours to hold. Let it go, and let me carry you. My child, I see the hesitation in your heart when I speak of surrender. You nod in agreement, perhaps even whisper, Yes, Lord. But deep within, something clenches tight. That something is fear, quiet, hidden, persistent. It whispers that letting go is weakness, that if you release control, everything could fall apart. But hear me clearly now. Letting go is not weakness. It is not retreat. It is not failure. Letting go is the boldest act of faith you can make, especially now, in this sacred season of your life. You have lived long enough to understand that life cannot be predicted. You've seen it with your own eyes. Dreams disrupted, people taken too soon, betrayals you never anticipated, victories that came from unexpected places. And through it all, you have grown wiser, even if that wisdom sometimes came wrapped in sorrow. But that same wisdom must now lead you to the greatest truth, that faith is not built on certainty. Faith is built on trust in me when certainty is no longer available. The older you grow, the more life will remind you of how little you can actually control. But that realization is not meant to torment you. It is meant to free you. In your youth, faith may have looked like action, like stepping out, building, achieving, moving mountains. But in these latter years, faith takes a quieter, deeper form. Now it looks like trust in silence. It looks like peace when questions remain unanswered. It looks like opening your hands even when your heart still longs to hold on. That kind of faith is not less powerful. It is more powerful, more refined, more intimate. It is the faith of a soul who has seen enough of me to say, Even now I trust you. Letting go is bold because it dares to say, God, I trust you more than I trust myself. It is not passive resignation. It is active devotion. It requires more courage than clinging ever did. Anyone can grip tightly out of fear. But only those who truly know me can release what they love into my care and believe I will not drop it. That is the depth of trust I am calling you into. Not because you have failed, but because you are ready. Yes, you are ready. Some say faith grows dim in old age. They say the fire fades, the energy wanes, the urgency disappears. But I say otherwise. I say your faith can burn brighter now than ever before, because it is no longer propped up by your own strength. You are no longer leaning on youthful confidence or worldly achievement. Now your faith stands purely on me, and that is the most unshakable foundation of all. You may ask, but Lord, what does letting go really look like? It looks like releasing your grip on the things you've tried to control, your family's decisions, your health, your finances, your future. It looks like releasing the guilt you carry over mistakes you made long ago. It looks like refusing to rehearse the past with regret, and instead choosing to believe that I have woven redemption into every chapter. It looks like waking up in the morning and saying, "This day is yours. These people are yours. My life is yours." And then it looks like resting in that truth over and over again. Do not confuse surrender with giving up. I am not asking you to disengage from life. On the contrary, I am calling you into deeper engagement with me. When you release what was never yours to control, your soul becomes free to love more fully, to serve more joyfully, to live more presently. You are no longer distracted by fear, no longer burdened by what if, no longer ruled by anxiety disguised as responsibility. That is not giving up. That is finally living. I know how deeply you love. I know you want to protect, to plan, to prepare. I place that nurturing heart within you. But that gift was never meant to replace me. It was meant to reflect me. And you can only reflect me clearly when you are not trying to replace me. This kind of surrender requires a lifetime of trust. And you have lived that life. You have seen my faithfulness. You have seen me restore what was broken. You have seen me carry you through loss, sickness, disappointment. Why then do you hesitate now? I have never abandoned you. Why would I begin now? The truth is, I am closer now than ever. With every passing day, you are drawing nearer to the fullness of my presence. And I want your final chapters to be filled not with fear, but with peace. Not with striving, but with resting. Not with anxiety, but with assurance. I want your heart to be light, your spirit to be free. I want you to taste the joy that comes from full surrender, the kind of joy that no circumstance can steal. So let go, not because you're giving up, but because you are giving in to me. Let go because you believe I am good, even when the picture is incomplete. Let go because you trust that my hands are more capable than your own. Let go because you were never created to carry it all. Let go because in doing so, you will finally discover the beauty of living in faith, not fear. And remember, surrender is not a one-time act. It is a rhythm. It is a heartbeat. It is the daily choice to say, "God, I trust you." And when the fears return, when the anxiety whispers again, you respond not with shame, but with the same declaration, "God, I trust you." This is not just for your peace. It is also your witness. Others are watching. Younger eyes are looking to you to see what faith really means. Show them. Show them that even now, faith is alive. Show them that trust does not fade with time. Show them that surrender is not the end. It is the beginning of something holy. You are not walking into decline. You are walking into depth. And depth with me is where the truest peace is found. So take a breath. Open your hands. Step boldly into surrender. And let me take it from here. My dear child, I know how hard it is to trust what you cannot see, especially now. When you were younger, your days were filled with action, and the results of your choices seemed more visible, more immediate. You could measure your progress, track your plans, and feel the satisfaction of doing. But as the years have gone by, your world has shifted. You see more clearly how little is truly within your control. Your eyes may have dimmed with age, but your soul has awakened to a deeper truth. That not everything can be touched, explained, or predicted. And yet I am still asking you to trust me. Trusting what you cannot see is not natural to the human heart. It goes against every instinct of self-preservation. You have been taught, sometimes through pain, to prepare for the worst. You've lived through disappointments and blindsiding storms, and so your heart began building defenses. You told yourself, if I can just anticipate what's coming, maybe I can avoid getting hurt again. But that isn't faith. That is fear dressed in logic. That is your soul trying to shield itself from what only I can carry. And while I understand your reasons, I am calling you to something greater. To walk with me by faith, not by sight. I know what your heart whispers when you stare at uncertainty. What will happen to my family? Will my health hold out? Did I do enough with my life? Will the world be okay without me? These are not silly questions. They come from a place of deep care, of love, of reflection. But hear me, child. You do not need all the answers to walk in peace. You only need the assurance that I hold every answer in my hand. You do not see the full picture, but I do. And I am not confused. I am not surprised. I am not overwhelmed. I am not late. You are entering a stage of life where visibility grows thinner, but clarity grows deeper. You are learning to rely not on your vision, but on your trust in mine. You are discovering that the most important things cannot be seen: faith, love, grace, redemption. These are the things that last, and they do not fade with time. In fact, they grow stronger in the unseen places. This is why I am teaching you now, in your later years, how to trust what your eyes cannot verify. Because this is where the richest intimacy with me is found. Remember the story of Abraham? He trusted me without knowing where he was going. Moses trusted me without knowing how I would part the sea. Mary trusted me without knowing how I would redeem the world through her womb. None of them saw the full picture, but they trusted the one who did. And I ask no less from you now. I ask you to believe, even when the way ahead is unclear. I ask you to rest, even when the answers haven't come. I ask you to follow my voice, even when you cannot trace my hand. You may think, but Lord, I've lived so long. I should be able to handle this by now. No, beloved. Maturity in faith is not about mastering control. It is about increasing dependence. The longer you walk with me, the more you realize how much you need me. That is not regression. That is growth. The wisest among you are not the ones who pretend to have it all figured out. They are the ones who kneel the quickest and pray the most. They are the ones who admit, I don't see it, but I trust you. And trust does not mean you feel confident all the time. Trust means you keep showing up, even when you're unsure. It means you pray, even when the words feel empty. It means you hope, even when hope feels thin. It means you choose to believe that I am working, even when you cannot see the evidence. That is true trust, and I treasure it more than you know. You don't need to know how I will work it out. You only need to know that I will. That is my promise to you. I am the God who sees what you cannot see. I am the God who walks ahead of you. I am already in your tomorrows, making a way where there seems to be none. And I will never abandon you halfway through the journey. Look back on your life for a moment. Think of all the things you once feared that never came to pass. Think of the battles you thought you couldn't win, but you did. Think of the seasons you didn't think you'd survive, but you're still here. Was that not my hand guiding you all along? If I carried you then, what makes you think I would stop now? You may feel the pull of uncertainty more now than ever before. The world is changing, your body is aging, and people around you are coming and going. But I have not changed. I am still the same God who walked with you in your youth, who held you during your pain, who whispered to you in the dark. My promises have not expired with time. My faithfulness does not weaken with age, and my vision is not limited by your human limitations. So when your eyes fail to see, trust that mine never will. When your heart doubts, lean into the history you have with me. You and I, we have been through too much for you to start doubting now. I have proven myself to you again and again. Let those memories anchor your faith as you move forward into the unknown. And do not be ashamed when fear tries to rise. Simply return to me. Let my word be your light. Let my spirit be your guide. Let my peace guard your heart. You don't need to see it all to believe. You only need to believe that I am good, and that I am with you. And I am. Keep trusting me, even when the way is dim. For in those unseen places, I am doing my deepest, most beautiful work. You may not see it now, but one day you will. Until then, walk with me by faith. I am guiding your every step. My beloved, we have walked through a journey together in these words, through the burdens you were never meant to carry, the boldness of surrender, and the quiet power of trusting what you cannot see. And now we come to the invitation I have been offering you all along, to place everything, yes, everything, into my hands, fully and finally. This is not a half-hearted gesture. This is not symbolic language. This is the most sacred transaction between your heart and mine. This is the moment where you no longer carry the weight, the questions, the fears, the dreams, the pain, or the plans. This is the moment you give it to me and don't take it back. I want you to know, child, that my hands are not like yours. Yours grow tired. Mine never do. Yours tremble under the pressure of life. Mine are steady. Yours are limited by time and strength and understanding. Mine are eternal, all-knowing, ever-powerful. So when I say, place it into my hands, I am inviting you to release your most precious treasures into the safest place they could ever be. Nothing slips through my fingers. Nothing is lost. Nothing is overlooked. I know every detail of what matters to you, and I hold it all with perfect care. I know what you've been holding on to. Some of it is joy, memories of love, of laughter, of family gatherings that now feel distant but still glow warm in your heart. But some of it is pain. Pain you never truly spoke about. Pain from things that didn't go as planned. Pain from people who misunderstood or hurt you. Pain from disappointments that sat quietly under the surface for years. I see it all. I was there for every single tear, even the ones you cried alone in the dark. And I am asking you, with all the compassion of a loving father, to place it in my hands. Give me the pain. Don't protect it anymore. Don't wrap it in silence. Don't call it your cross to bear if I never asked you to carry it. Give me the names you can't say without feeling a sting in your chest. Give me the memories that still make you wince. Give me the apologies you never received. I will take them, and I will redeem them. That is my specialty, turning sorrow into glory, ashes into beauty. But I cannot heal what you hide, so bring it into the light. Place it into my hands. And give me the dreams. I know some of them didn't come true. I know you did your best. I know you prayed, planned, and hoped. And I know the ache that remains when a dream remains unfulfilled. But listen carefully. Just because something didn't happen your way doesn't mean it was wasted. I use everything. I weave what you call unfinished into the grand masterpiece of eternity. There is no such thing as wasted faith when it is placed in me. Trust that I know what to do with your dreams, even the ones that seem like they died years ago. I still have a purpose for them. They belong in my hands. Give me your family. I know how tightly you've held them. I know the nights you've stayed awake worrying about their choices, their pain, their future. But your love for them, as deep as it is, was never meant to carry the full burden of their lives. Only I can do that. You are not abandoning them when you place them in my hands. You are protecting them in the highest way possible. I love them even more than you do. I have plans for them that you cannot see. So let go of the illusion that you must control what happens to them. Entrust them to me. Speak their names in prayer, and then rest in peace. I am watching over them, and give me your future. I know that word feels fragile now. It once meant opportunity. Now it may feel uncertain, even limited. But I want you to hear this. Your future is not over. If you are still breathing, then I am still writing. Your latter days are not just a fading sunset. They are a canvas for grace, wisdom, peace, and the kind of impact that only a life well lived can offer. There is beauty ahead. There is purpose in these moments. You don't have to strive for it. Just stay close to me and I will lead you step by step. Into my hands. Your future belongs there too. This is not a one-time act, child. This is a way of living. Every morning when you rise, say it again. Into your hands, Lord, I place everything. And when worry knocks at your door in the afternoon, say it again. And when your heart feels heavy at night, say it again. Let it be the rhythm of your soul. Into your hands, into your hands, into your hands. Let this be the posture of your life. Open hands, quiet heart, steady trust. Not because you've figured everything out, but because you've finally realized you don't need to. Not because the answers have come, but because you know the one who holds every answer. And I will not fail you. I never have. I never will. This is my final word in this message, but it is not the end of what I am doing in you. No, this is just the beginning of a new chapter. One written not in anxiety, but in peace. One marked not by striving, but by resting. One lived not in fear of what's ahead, but in the joy of walking hand in hand with me. I have you. I have all of it, now and forever. So release it all, fully and finally, into my hands, and let your soul finally breathe again.